So let's get back to the Nigerian Stock Exchange where Temple Ashaju, our market correspondent and business correspondent, is standing by to freshen up part of this conversation as far as the multiple shares accounts that the SEC is now asking all those who are involved not to fear prosecution because the period of amnesty has been extended for another 1 year. It looks like folks are getting it very, very difficult to come out of their closets and claim those dividend or those shares, which also add up to our unclaimed dividend portfolio and the very small float that we have on our market street. Temple Ashaju, welcome back to the program. It's good to have you again on this. I'm sure you listened to Johnson Chukwu a little bit there earlier, and I'm sure with your years of experience in the market, you know, this multiple share subscription, it was an issue. An unclaimed dividend is still there. 100 billion. Give me a very small fraction of that, Temple, and I will say goodbye, at least for today.
Right, Bosun. Well, well, you know how it is with this market. A lot of the market lost confidence. Investors generally lost confidence in this market, especially the retail investors, a long time ago. And with this forbearance window extended by 1 more year, that's till the 31st of December 2019. I think one of the things I've gathered from the publics and investors is that the regulators should begin to leverage experiential marketing of this whole idea, because a lot of investors in recent time have not been keen into it, and the investors that are being targeted with this particular information are those retail investors that bought with the names of like Victoria Monsurat Ajala, or you have Ajala Monsurat Victoria, you know, just a kind of twist in the name. Sometimes when you go to the website of the SEC and you try to check what kind of unclaimed dividends you have left with the provision that the SEC made a few years ago, when you type somebody's name first like that, it may not display the name, but then the person asks you to please invert those names again. By the time you invert those names, it shows some of them. It probably just lists 3. By the time she tells you or he tells you to please invert those names again, it brings out the shares of the, and then that's when that particular investor now remembers that, oh yes, at a point in time I actually bought UAC. At a point in time I think I bought First Bank and all of that. So I think what this SEC should do is what these investors have been saying. Go on Twitter, get on Instagram, get on experiential marketing, because mobile is the in thing right now. The analysis and data from the Nigerian Communications Commission shows that over 98 million people are now connected to internet. We have them as active users. So what you should do is get on all of the social media networking platforms and communicate more with these guys. Talk about shares with them. Talk to students who have shares. Talk to those old students who are now workers. Students as of 2005, when we had the boom in this market, that had also keyed into shares, that had bought shares with their pocket money and are now currently working in companies. Talk to them to do more. Talk to them to you know, key into this and go and change their names. That's sort of what I think the regulator should be doing, and that's not just from me, but that's what investors have told me. The other thing I think should be done, if the regulators are sincere about this particular exercise, is to team up with these banks and some of this company. Put up a roll-up banner there and, you know, put it out there that if you've bought shares at so point in time with different name, or you have your names inverted, please go and regularize it.
Temple. I'm getting signals that you're likely going to be charged for commercial promotion, giving public advice to the SEC there. So I've just been warned to cut their comments short. So that was a joke, by the way, everyone. We just want to take a break. We'll be back into Temple Ashaju will join us from the trading floor for today's final 24 hours before Christmas. So this is your final 24 hours before Christmas. The Nigerian Stock Exchange will close its doors, and of course the windows as well. The trading engine will be down tomorrow, and on Tuesday, which is Christmas and Boxing Day, many markets around the world will be closed, with the exception of Middle East and a few markets in Asia. So if you're looking at the Nigerian market, it's going to be all systems down till a Thursday when the markets will reopen. So this is just 24 hours of trading, and I'm just wondering whether anything will be a game changer for today. Let's check in with Temple Ashaju finally for today's edition of the program. Temple, welcome back to the final installment of the program. What do you think? What are the early indications that we have of today's 24 hours before Christmas? Will it make any difference?
Well, it's hard to say right now, but we know that the market is currently positive. The direction is in the green area. The index is up some 0.29%. We've seen a lot of the companies that were able to close positive last week also sustaining their momentum. Right now, the likes of Forte Oil, which was at 20-something naira last week, is now trending at 30 naira 75 kobo in early trades, has moved up some 8.08%. Guarantee Trust Bank is also positive at this point in time, and one of the top trades, most actively traded companies on the market as we speak, up some 2.07%, and it continues to rise. Zenith Bank is also rising in its share price, currently up some 1.32% and trending at 23 naira per share. If you look at Diamond Bank and Unity Bank, which are two companies that actually moved the most last week in terms of weekly analysis, they are still maintaining that momentum. Unity Bank, for example, has done some 60,073 units of its shares in early trades right now. That's what we found on the portal a few minutes ago when we last checked. Diamond Bank is around 1 naira, more than 50 kobo, and it looks like that will also continue. That's what we've seen so far. This sentiment looks to be positive. It looks like we're going to see a rally this week. It's not so clear, though, if we will have some profit takers coming back into the market, you know, to sell down on some of what their interest is in the market is, Bosun.
Okay, Temple Ashaju, thank you very much. Those are the early numbers as it were, of course, within the first hour of trading the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Temple, thank you very much for being part of the program today. Business correspondent live there at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Let's leave it there for now. Let's just hand it all over to our news team, and they're just getting ready for the news at the top of the hour. I am Bosun Namafaye. I'll see you in another 24 hours.